The time is 6:01, and I am calling back to order the June 2nd, 2025 Clayton County Board of Education Board Meeting. We'll start off, members, with the board recognitions. So I am turning this over to Mr. White. What was that? After. We'll call the roll after the recognitions, and then we'll proceed with the meeting thereafter. Mr. White, the platform is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If the board would proceed to the stage at front so we can greet the individuals as they are presented to you. Mr. Chairman, Ms. Vice Chair, members of the board, Dr. Smith, Superintendent, district leadership, and ladies and gentlemen. This is our last regularly scheduled board meeting for the 24-25 school year, and we've saved a few heavy hitters for you to celebrate in the way of recognitions for their outstanding accomplishments during the course of the school year and at special events. For this first recognition, I will ask Dr. Hendricks, Dr. Delphia Young, Dr. Colbert, Dr. Guiney, Dr. Horton, Mr. Townsend, and Principals Ms. Bailey, Mr. Harrell, and Mr. West, if they would please join the board upstage. There's a couple of things I need to do in this first part. The first one is I would like to ask the Elite Scholars girls track team if they would line up on the far wall over there off stage. And while they're doing that, I would like to ask Kelly Walker from Jonesboro High School and Patrice Dacey, I hope I got that right, or Dace, from Morrow High School to please join us on stage. And also from Elite Scholars from their track team, I would like to ask Sanyaya Largent, Aaliyah Forrest, Kajaya Johnson, and Maya Valdez, if they would all join us on stage. As they're coming up, the Georgia High School Association hosted the State Track and Field Championships at multiple locations during the month of May. We had quite a few state champions. Here is the list. First off, winning the 100-meter dash in Class 4A for girls, Kelly Walker of Jonesboro High School. Winning the Class 5A high jump from Morrow High School, Patrice Dace. Go back that way. Y'all go back that way. Y'all go back that way. No. You're going to be in the middle of the stage. There you go. That's right. And finally, the Class 1A Division II 4x400 relay team, the Elite Scholars Academy team, and the four young ladies that were introduced up here. And so these are also our state champions. So we can do a photo. Sam, you need to get closer. Now I'm going to ask Miss Walker and Miss Dace if they would stand over here by me. And I would like to don't leave, hang in there, stay. And young ladies, I don't know why you're running away, because we're going to celebrate the fact that you finished second in the state in team event for track and field. So come on, let's the rest of the team come up and line up as well. If I'm not mistaken, this is the highest that we've had a team in quite some time to finish in the state competition in track and field. We've had a lot of individual champions, but this time we had a team that put it together. They are Aaliyah Robertson, Adwa Asidu, Alina Forrest, Ayana Tucker, Bettina Echo, Destiny Penn, Hannah Williams, Maya Valdez, Jade Brown, Kaja Johnson, Kai Mays, Tanya Cosino, Sanya Largent, Tamia Smith, Namola Ofsinye, and Ni Huen, coaches by Lakeisha Smith, Catherine Lawrence, Alex Benefield, and the athletic director at Elite Scholars is Tiffany Pippins. Please give our second place in the state team a big round of applause. And I'd like to have our state champions please join the team up front for one final picture of all these outstanding young ladies and their great athletic accomplishments. Now you guys can leave. Yep, you're good. For our next recognition, I'm going to ask Dr. Hendricks, Dr. Young, Dr. Colbert, Dr. Sharman Johnson, Dr. Shanice Ratcliffe, Dr. April Crawford, Ms. Felicia Brown, Ms. Trina Smith, Mr. Ronnie Tillman representing the Transportation Department, and Mr. Orlando Dawson to please join the board up front. The award is on the table. Okay, yeah, it's down on the table. We're going to get ready to do it now. On May 14th, 2025, a Clayton County public school bus was involved in a serious traffic accident in which both the driver and bus monitor sustained injuries. Amid the chaos, one remarkable elementary student demonstrated extraordinary composure and maturity beyond his years. Remaining calm under pressure, this brave student quickly called 911, checked on the condition of the driver, and then contacted his parents to clearly explain what had happened. His swift and thoughtful actions exemplify courage, empathy, and presence of mind in a critical moment. Please join the board in celebrating this remarkable young man, Kylis Hano of Huey Elementary School. Just come on up. You can come up this way. And I see you've got a lot of folks out there supporting you. I think they need to be up here as well after we get a picture with you, okay? Head on down the line. Mr. Tillman is presenting the Department of Transportation's Heroic Action Award for the 24-25 school year to this fine young man. And we'd like to ask his family, the family of this fine young man, to come up for a photograph with the board. And Dr. Simpson, if you would join us up front as well. Blame Dr. Okay. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Sure, sir. Thank you. All right, you're going to be able to get down? All right. Don't go too far away. Okay, but you go ahead then. For this next recognition, we asked Dr. Hendricks, Dr. Young, Dr. Colbert, Dr. Prince Bowie, and Ms. Brenda Ross Wilson to please join the board up front. And we would also ask Ms. Brittany Lee if she would come forward. The Clayton County Board of Education takes great pride in honoring Brittany Lee, Fine Arts Magnet Coordinator at Stillwell School of the Arts. Upon being selected as the recipient of this prestigious award, for the prestigious Award Schools Network Emerging Leader Award, she will be officially recognized at the 2025 Art Schools Network Annual Conference taking place in Sarasota, Florida this fall in recognition for her outstanding achievements and accomplishments in her role with Clayton County Public Schools. Congratulations. In addition to Doctors Hendricks, Young, and Colbert, I call Dr. Tim Guiney, Dr. Sharman Johnson, Dr. Elder Quarton, Mr. Lonnie Farmer, Dr. Shanice Ratcliffe, and Dr. Cassandra Hopkins, along with Dr. Tanya Clark and Ms. Tiffany Neely, to join the board up front. And while they're coming up front, I would ask the schools and teachers that are being honored in First in Math to please line up along the far wall before you mount the stage. Tonight, Clayton County Board of Education honors the schools, the teachers, and students who have performed well in various math competitions during the course of the year. Due to the large number of honorees, they will be presented as groups representing specific competitions. You may in fact see some familiar faces, as some of these students and schools will have won in multiple competitions. Please understand that you're also in store to see a lot of hardware. I was out front and I saw some of the trophies that some of these fine young individuals brought to the stage, and we are very happy to have them join us in this endeavor. But first, we're going to recognize some individuals who have done really well overall. So will the following schools please join the board on stage? Morrow High School, Elite Scholars High School. This would be represented by a staff member or by your principal or whomever is here to represent your school this evening. North Clayton High School, Forest Park Middle School, Jonesboro Middle School, Kendrick Middle School, Michelle Obama STEM Academy, Marshall Elementary, and Church Street Elementary. These schools performed outstanding in the First in Math competitions, which is using a strategic thinking and problem-solving program. Clayton County elementary students compete against students around the world by solving as many problems as they can. Clayton County had 34 students to rank in the top 100 in the state, evidence of the hard work of the schools and the staff. I would also like to call the following teachers to the stage: Kendra Ori, Mahajeen Fatima, Mudbin Fatima, Notoya Gibbons, Rosalind Martin, Tim Roy Shaw. We'll take a photo of these school leaders and then we'll bring some students on stage. I ask that the students who participated in First in Math and earned awards, if you would please line up on the far wall in preparation of being invited to the stage. We congratulate you on this outstanding achievement and accomplishment. Whoa, wait a minute. Picture. Get back to the center. We want you in the picture. As I said, Clayton County had 34 students to rank in the top 100 in the state in First in Math. let's bring these students on stage and congratulate them for their outstanding accomplishments. Please join us, the board, on stage. As I said, there's some hardware out here tonight. And while we are introducing these students, I'm going to ask those students who participated in Who's Got Games and Math Art Design to please line up on the far wall. But if you're in this group, don't leave the stage just yet. Now, once we get set to take this photograph, we're going to do that, but then we're going to ask everyone to stay on stage for just a moment. And I think it's also impressive the number of students we have here tonight, even though school is not in session. Okay. All right, so Ronald. Now, I want everyone to stay where they are, because this is a special competition in that it's national. And we have 4 students who did exceptionally well in this event. Would Christian Dixon please step forward? Christian is from Morrow Elementary School and ranked 21st in the state. Excuse me, 21st in the nation. Oh my word. That's even more impressive, guys. Would Nathan Pham please step forward from Marshall Elementary School? Nathan finished 12th nationally. Would Thru Tran please step forward from Morrow Middle School? He finished 8th in the nation. And of course, we saved probably the best for last. Vincent Nguyen from Morrow Elementary School, would you please step forward? Vincent finished number 1 in the nation. Y'all stay there. Exit this way. They're going back. All right. Thank you. The Who's Got Games Challenge and the Math Art Design Challenge open access for students who want to apply their mathematical problem solving, and degree skills to create original games of art. I would ask the Math Art Design Challenge students, those who have been honored or have received awards, to please join the board on stage. While they're coming up on stage, the Math Art Design Challenge students must use art to visualize mathematical structures, engage others in mathematics, conversations, or use mathematical structures to create artworks that motivate people to take social action. Some of this work may appear on the Community Art Park. Is she the only one? I would also ask the game design students who earned awards to please come forward as well. And Who's Got Games? Students must develop a game that applies and or teaches mathematics while also addressing a social issue. And again, we ask those students who earned awards for game design to please come forward. And while they're coming to the stage, I would ask the students who participated in Challenge 24 to please line up on the far wall. That's it. Okay. Thank you. Challenge 24 is a math competition that challenges participants to use arithmetic operations such as plus, minus, times, and division on 4 given numbers to reach a target number, which is 24. Participants can use each number only once and must use all 4 numbers. The competition often consists of multiple rounds with increasingly difficult sets of numbers. Now, I'm going to ask principals and other school representatives to come to the stage first before we bring the students on stage, because schools were recognized for their performance in the Challenge 24 competition. Those schools are Elite Academy High School, Morrow High School, Stillwell School of the Arts, North Clayton Middle, Adamson Middle, Morrow Middle, Northcutt Elementary, Michelle Obama STEM Academy, and Riverdale Elementary. If those school leaders and officials would come forward to be congratulated by the board. Ronald? Exit this way, please. This way, come this way, come this way. Drag them with you if you have. And as the staff members exit the stage, it is my distinct honor to present to you the students who performed exceedingly well in Challenge 24. I invite them to come on stage to meet the board. That's bigger than she is. We will come this way, and we will excuse the mathematics folks because this was an outstanding display of how well we're doing there, but we're going to deal with another subject matter. So with Dr. Hendricks, Dr. Young, Dr. Colbert, Dr. Guiney, Dr. Horton, Ms. Tanisha Bailey, Mr. Harrell, and Mr. West, please come and join the board up front. Y'all need to, you need to stay. Yeah, you need to stay too, because we've got an elementary student being recognized. I'm sorry. I meant to say Dr. Johnson needs to stay. Sorry about that. And I would like to invite to the stage Victor Gwynn from Swint Elementary School. And also Dr. Patrick Edwards from Swint, if he is here as well. I'm sorry, that is Tanisha Whitlow Sullivan, principal at Swint. She would come up as well. I'm sorry about that. Clayton County Public Schools proudly acknowledges the outstanding performance of Victor Gwynn at the K-5 Georgia State Science and Engineering Fair. Victor earned a first place prize for his entry. I'm sorry. I'm going to ask Victor and Mr. Edwards and Ms. Sullivan, if they would, stand to the side for just a moment, please. Again, this is a night of celebrating excellence in our school district. Would Khalil Rimmer and James Mays and Vi Lee please come forward and join the board up front? As they are coming up front, we are celebrating the outstanding accomplishments of students who advanced to the 75th Regeneron International Science and Engineering Fair. These exceptional students, Mr. Rimmer and James Mays of Stillwell School of the Arts and Vi Lee of Morrow High School, represented the district at this prestigious global competition. It is considered the world's largest international pre-college science competition and drew 1,700 students representing 66 countries and territories. Mr. Rimmer and Khalil Rimmer and James Mays of Stillwell earned second place in the specialty award category for their project, innovating cost-effective sound transducers for enhanced cardiological applications. Vi Lee, student from Morrow High School, submitted her project, Optimization of Soil Microbes for Microplastic Biogradation. Schetz represents, according to the judges, a specific and significant scientific contribution. Congratulations to these students. Thank you. For our final recognition of the night, I would ask everyone who's been called up front to stay here and invite Mr. Lonnie Farmer and other individuals from the school district. Mr. Cedric Coleman, Dr. Kim Dancy, and Ms. Tanisha Sullivan-Whitlow to all be up front for this one as well. During the 24-25 school year, CCPS students competed in the statewide stock market game sponsored by the Georgia Council of Economic Education. The stock market game is a program that teaches students about investing through a simulated stock market, allowing them to manage a virtual portfolio without real financial risk. Participants receive $100,000 in virtual money and can invest in stocks, bonds, and mutual funds, competing with other teams in a real-world environment. The students and teachers represented teams that won the competition for their entire region in either the fall or the spring contest. This means that the student teams finished the competition as the top-ranked elementary, middle, or high school team within their congressional district. Let me introduce the teams that are being honored. Mount Zion Elementary School, if your team will come forward, please. Riverdale Middle School, if your team would come forward. And Forest Park High School, if your team would come forward as well. I now turn the microphone over to Dr. Jessie Goree, who has indicated a desire to make some presentations.
All right, this evening, I would be remiss if I didn't recognize my right-hand person in the girls' conference, and I forgot last time, so I want to give a special thank you for inspiring us to thrive to Ms. Kim Blackwood, our board liaison. Congratulations, ma'am. And then I could not have done it without the permission of Dr. Anthony Smith, the superintendent. Thank you so much, Dr. Smith, for always being very supportive. Congratulations. Thank you, sir. My leg is numb. I got a headache. I'm gonna take it back.
If everybody would stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I now will read off the roster. District 1, Jasmine Bowles.
Present.
District 2, Mark Christmas.
Present.
District 3, Dr. Jessie Goree. District 4, Victoria Williams. District 5, Dr. D. Haney.
Present.
District 6, Miss Mary Baker.
Present.
District 7, Miss Sabrina Hill.
Present.
District 8, Miss Joy Tellis Cooper.
Present.
And I am District 9. Superintendent, Dr. Anthony Smith.
Present.
Senior Deputy Superintendent, Chief of Staff, Dr. Douglas Hendricks. Attorney Clem Doyle.
Present.
Board Liaison Kim Blackwood. Assistant to the Superintendent Alicia Battles. Assistant to the Deputy Superintendent Ms. Dawn Bias. She's here. All right, fantastic, thank you. And now I'm going to read the ethics statement. In accordance with Board Policy BH, it is the duty of every board member to avoid both conflicts of interest and appearances of such conflicts. Does any board member have any known conflict of interest or appearance of such conflict with respect to any matter scheduled to come before the board at this meeting or appearing on our proposed agenda? If so, please identify the conflict or appearance of conflict and refrain from participation in the matter involved. We have some recommendations from the executive session. Okay, you're right. Sorry. Public participation. Let me read Public participation in board meetings. The Clayton County Board of Education welcomes public participation and will hear any interested individual pursuant to the guidelines outlined in policy BCBI. Members of the public will not be allowed to discuss individual personnel issues or confidential student matters. Speakers must identify themselves and topics before speaking. Speakers will be given 3 minutes to speak, and time may not be yielded from one speaker to another. Board members will not respond to comments from speakers. The chairman may respond as appropriate. Issues requiring possible action by the board may be added to future agenda. Issues that may need to be addressed by the administration will be duly noted. Abusive language and/or personal attacks will not be permitted. All right, I'm gonna have to stick tightly to the 3-minute limit when it comes to the public participation. So please be aware of the fact that you're gonna be dropped after 3 minutes of speaking. My first speaker for the night, Ms. Maya Davis. Maya Davis? I don't see Miss Maya Davis. All right, next is Bridget Ward.
Good afternoon. Thank you all. Thank you, board members, for seeing me. I am speaking on behalf of an unnamed student. The student was wondering why there are no lactose-free options offered for her school lunch. I had her to do a research paper on that, and some of the symptoms that the students that are lactose intolerant get are nausea, diarrhea, gas, and bloating. The ability to digest lactate is a mutation that is normally held by people of Northern European heritage. Students that are African, Latinx, Asian, and other ethnicities have trouble digesting lactose. The problem with the students is that are nutritionally dependent upon the school lunch. They either have to go without that portion of their meal, or they have to tolerate discomfort throughout the school day. My ask is that lactose-free dairy offerings be presented for every student in Clayton County schools so that these students can also have a full meal. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Next, I have Dr. Artesius Miller.
Good evening, board. Chairman Straker, Superintendent Dr. Anthony Smith, Chairwoman, Vice Chairwoman Ms. Baker, and board members, esteemed board members. It's really great to see you all this evening. I want to start off by giving thanks. I'm here today on behalf of Utopian Academy for the Arts Elementary School. We were on the agenda for last week's work session, and I want to talk through some concerns that were identified that honestly need to be addressed from our end because these things were not properly communicated to the board prior to making its way to the work session. There was a concern regarding, I'm going to speak very quickly, concerns regarding financials that were provided to the board. Although it was expressed to the board that there have been challenges identified from our audit findings and or our financial reports, there has not been a concern, let alone these concerns were not brought to our attention prior to the work session on last week. Utopian has received to date very clean audits. And as you will see in the financial reports that were presented on last week, we're operating in the black. Yet we were said something otherwise. During the last work session on last week, it was expressed that we met with Dr. Smith, Superintendent Smith and his team to address over 18 concerns or deficiencies that were financially related. And that is not correct. We actually had a meeting with Dr. Smith. We were very grateful for that meeting. That meeting was to discuss very critical concerns about the charter renewal process that were not being followed by state guidelines. And even furthermore, the need to have Chairman Straker reach out to the State Board of Education to request an extension of our charter renewal because our charter was going to expire based upon the guidelines that we were following through the charter office. And so it's important that I clarify that because our meeting with Dr. Smith and his cabinet was not to address financial concerns. It was the complete opposite of which I just shared. There was reference that bills are not being paid on time to the district. While the charter renewal process is for our elementary school, I have to express that we do have relationships with transportation and nutrition, of which our elementary school does not. We do not have aging invoices. Our invoices are paid on time and within a net 30-day period. So it's important to share that. But again, these were concerns addressed about our elementary school. There was also reference to NACSA, the National Association of Charter School Authorizers. There's this variance between theory versus practice. It was communicated that the district has new guidelines established of which charter schools will be held accountable. And we wholeheartedly agree because we're held accountable to the state. But to have a school, regardless of who they are, be upheld to standards that do not exist is unfair. And honestly, they should be addressed properly because our students, our faculty and staff, the larger Clayton County community deserves an opportunity to be able to address those issues and those concerns. And so for it to be shared to the board, one thing, and never to be brought to the attention of Utopian is unfair.
Thank you, Dr. Miller. Mr. Joshua Menifee.
Mr. Straker, Ms. Baker, Dr. Smith, Board, good evening, everyone. I'm Joshua Menifee, Chairman of Utopian Academy for the Arts. First, I want to sincerely thank you, as Dr. Miller has, for approving our renewal of the charter last week. This renewal was much more complicated than we've experienced in the past with our other schools, but we are definitely committed and deeply grateful for the opportunity to continue serving the young folks here in Clayton County and our families. I would be remiss, though, if I didn't express some disappointment with the process that led to your vote. The information and narrative surrounding the recommendation in motion was unfortunately misleading, and the discussion on the floor revealed a level of confusion that was concerning. As new policies are implemented to increase oversight of charter schools, we understand and support the need for accountability. In light of these upcoming changes and the concerns raised, we believe it would be appropriate to reassess and reconsider the length of our renewal term because these concerns were not addressed to us, therefore not given an opportunity to address them. Moreover, the state has already expressed concern that the process and disregard of the superintendent's recommendation of a clean 5-year renewal was disregarded. An unrestricted 5-year renewal would reflect not only our performance and commitment, but also the trust we continue to build with our community. Thank you again, everyone, for your time, your service, and your dedication to the students of Clayton County.
Thank you, Mr. Menifee. Mr. Marcus Broadhead.
Good evening, my name is Marcus Broadhead. I am the Director of New School Design and Development for Utopian Academy for the Arts Charter Network, and I serve as the point for the charter renewal process. And I just wanted to bring forth some information to help further clarify some concerns. As we work together to provide a quality education for our scholars, I wanted to bring to your attention some ambiguity in the renewal process, not only for our upcoming renewal, but for other charters thereafter. For the renewal process, that currently states 2 dates are provided as guidance: the letter of intent on January 3rd and the application submission deadline of March 29th. Our interview was set for March 21st, which was before the application deadline submission, and despite a request for guidance to prepare, we did not receive information that would assist us or a framework for the structure of the interview. After submission of our application on March 29th, we sought feedback and was told that there would be 90 days to complete the process from the time of submission of the application. Since we had not yet had our site visit and having knowledge of the fact that the state has a part to play in this process, we were well aware that this timeline would not meet the deadline for the expiration of our charter. Consequently, the chairman had to intervene and request an extension to ensure that our charter would not expire due to the limitation of the process. After a meeting with Clayton County Superintendent and members, it was brought to our attention that the March 29th date was the deadline, but to receive feedback and conclude the process in a timely fashion, we could have submitted it earlier. And because we did not submit it before the deadline, it caused us to be out of compliance. This creates confusion to post a deadline for submission that does not provide the runway for the process to be completed starting from the date of the submission. After a walkthrough was conducted, we received 18 deficiency notes to be rectified in an email. The 18 deficiencies were stated to be an extension from the original application. However, the information requested was not originally asked on the application, which is why it was not submitted initially. Upon request, our network worked with building leadership and provided a comprehensive response to all 18 deficiencies within the week of its request. After submission of all deficiencies, I communicated to make sure everything was in place, and we received the response that there was one item that was not answered. I immediately pointed out where that information could be found, and no other feedback was provided to our team. Had there been any further concerns, just as we had provided a comprehensive response to the deficiencies, we'd have accommodated any further concerns. Unfortunately, we're not given an opportunity or were notified there were any concerns before a recommendation was made for a 3-year extension rather than a 5-year in light of the concerns. As we look into the future, it is my hope that I can better prepare our network for the charter process and appreciate transparent guidance similar to the charter petition timeline and application process. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Maika Smoot.
Good evening, Superintendent Smith, Board Chair Straker, Vice Chair Baker, esteemed members of the board, and members of the Clayton County community. My name is Maika Smoot, and I serve as president of the Clayton County Education Association. I appreciate the opportunity to address you this evening regarding the fiscal year 26 budget. However, I must begin by expressing my concern and confusion regarding which version of the budget is currently under consideration. Has the public been clearly informed about the actual options the board is evaluating? The budget that was tentatively approved has gone through multiple iterations, particularly in relation to employee compensation. First, we had the initially proposed budget, then additional compensation options were presented during the community conversation webinar. Following that, the May 27th budget meeting introduced another set of options. Finally, on May 29th, employees received an email outlining yet another version. With these conflicting versions in circulation, it is difficult to determine what exactly is being proposed. But what is clear is that the employees of Clayton County Public Schools deserve, at a minimum, a 3% cost of living adjustment. There is currently no proposed step increase for employees, yet we are being asked to accept proposals in which some employees will receive less than 1% raise, while others will receive up to 6%. How is that fair and equitable? Let's not mask these discrepancies under the guise of helping lower paid employees. CCPS already has clearly defined salary schedules for classified staff, certified educators, administrators, and district personnel. If the board wishes to address classified salary scale and work toward a more livable wage, you have the authority to do so. But that conversation should not come at the expense of a uniform cost of living adjustment. Simply put, the absence of a 3% COLA is unacceptable. The recent employee communication outlined three options, offer no opportunity for feedback, and essentially asks us to choose from the best of the worst. That is not engagement, that is not respect, That is not how a district committed to excellence treats its workforce. Moving forward, I strongly urge the leadership of Clayton County Public Schools to build step increases and cost of living adjustments into the budget from the onset, not as a reactive option after community pushback. Budgets reflect the priorities of the district. If retaining, attracting highly qualified staff is truly a priority for this district, it must be reflected clearly in your financial planning. Thank you for your time and attention to this matter.
Thank you, ma'am. Ms. London Shine.
Hello, my name is London Shine, and I am an upcoming senior at North Clayton High School. When I first started at North Clayton, I was told that our new building was going to be ready by the time I was a senior. That now has been pushed back to class of 2027, where they say the new building is going to be finished. However, as I have drove by, no progress has been made. For North Clayton, I can not stress this enough. Instead of putting our focus into a new school, we should be working on making our school better. At North Clayton High School, you can see in between the stalls, there is more students than space available. There are 43 students in classes with no room for everybody. Our building is no longer functional enough, and our building is no longer functional enough, and I cannot stress this enough how much our new building is needed. Okay, that's it.
Ms. Shine, thank you very much. And audience, Ms. Shine is actually on our strategic planning committee also. So she's very active in advocating for Clayton County Public Schools. Janice McAllister.
Good evening to the board, my colleagues, and community. The issue of veteran educators not receiving adequate compensation is a pressing concern in many educational systems, particularly in regions where funding for public schools is limited or not well distributed. While the dedication and expertise of veteran teachers are invaluable to the quality of education, their salaries often do not reflect this value. Clayton County should do more to increase teacher salaries. When we don't receive our salary increases, we feel the effects for a lifetime, meaning that we only get 60% of our highest salary. If we are not receiving pay increases, our fixed income will be below standard at the time of retirement. Many of the retirees will have to get second jobs to make up the difference in order to sustain or maintain their living conditions. Ultimately, compensating veteran educators appropriately isn't just about higher pay. It's also about recognizing their expertise, their experiences, and the tremendous impact they have on student outcomes. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Maria Marino.
I don't have my glasses. Good evening, board members, community, all present here. My name is Maria Marino. I am a parent at Unidos Dual Language School, and I want to raise a serious concern about the way leadership priorities are playing at our school, particularly in a Title I context. Right now, the administration appears to be hyper-focused on academic data. Instructional time and test scores are prioritized above all else. While academic success is important, it's being pursued above all else. Above all else, at the expense of a genuine family and community engagement, which Title I identifies as essential to school improvements. There's also a troubling emphasis on score data within the magnet program. It seems the goal of this administration is not to support all students equitably, but to preserve the highest achieving students and use the magnet track as a justification to quietly remove or exclude others. Students who with proper support could absolutely reach their goals. This contradicts the very spirit of the Title I and inclusive education. In some cases, parent involvement is not just deprioritized, it's actively discouraged, framed as a disruption to instruction. That approach isn't just short-sighted, it reflects a misunderstanding or neglect of the legal obligations that come with Title I funding. Title I requires that parents and families are included in school planning and improvement. The engagement is not performative, but meaningful, ongoing, and documented. That school leaders foster, not avoid partnerships with families. If district leaders are aware of this pattern and still choose not to act or choose to manage it privately without community input, we risk more than declining trust. We risk non-compliance with ESSA and a failure to meet the needs of the very students Title I is meant to support. Acknowledging changes behind closed doors is not enough. Transparency and authentic collaboration are not optional. They're federally required, and our students deserve nothing less. We've already lost valuable staff that are going to other counties, dual language teachers, who, from my understanding, I felt also to say I am the school council chair and actively, try to work with the community and staff members at Unidos. And I understand that teacher retention right now is a priority because we are losing valuable staff and teachers. And I've been here before, and I'm pleading to you again, the board, the superintendent, to come to our aid.
Thank you. Ms. Candace Jones. Ms. Jones? Okay. That concludes our public participation for this evening. Yes. Sure.
Excuse me. Before we go to the executive session, I think we would be remiss if we did not take a moment of silent reflection to honor some of our employee losses. One of our board liaison is a member of the Zion Hill Baptist Church. And the pastor, Dr. Martin Jones, passed, Don Martin Jones. He's also a member, an employee of Clayton County Public Schools. He's a bus driver. And I would like for us to take a moment of silence for the pastor. And while we're doing that, our own board member, Mr. Mark Christmas, wasn't with us last week. He lost his brother, Mr. Melvin O'Neill Barnes Jr. We also had a teacher from Eddie White, Bradford Hadnot, who passed. So if we could, at this moment, please take a moment of silence in their honor, please.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Executive session recommendations. Dr. Smith, the platform is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Ms. Vice Chairman, and members of the board, colleagues, and community members. I would like the board to consider for the appointment of principalship at Lovejoy High School, Dr. Kelvin Griffin.
Can I get a motion?
I move that we accept the superintendent's recommendation for Dr. Griffin to become the principal at Lovejoy High School.
Can I get a second?
I second the motion.
The motion has been made and properly second. Can I get a vote? It's unanimous.
Thank you. If Dr. Griffin is present, please stand and be recognized. Congratulations, sir. Thank you, board members. I would also like the board to consider for the position of principalship at Kemp Primary, Joy Duncan Harris.
Can I get a motion?
I move that we accept the superintendent's recommendation for Miss Joy Duncan Harris to become the principal at Kemp Elementary School.
Can I get a second?
I second that motion.
The motion has been moved and properly second. Can I get a vote? It's unanimous.
Thank you, board members. If Ms. Duncan Harris is present, please stand, ma'am, and be recognized. And congratulations. And stick around. The board would like to get a group photo for all of the appointees, but we have a couple more. Thank you, board, for that. I would also like for the board to consider for the position of principalship at Kilpatrick Elementary School, LaDon Elliott.
Can I get a motion?
I make a motion to accept the superintendent's recommendation for Miss LaDonna Elliott at Kilpatrick Elementary.
Fantastic. Can I get a
The
second?
motion has been seconded.
The motion has been moved and properly second. Can I get a vote? It's unanimous.
Ms. Elliott. Congratulations. What an enthusiastic crowd. That's all right. I appreciate that excitement. Thank you, board members. And again, stick around, Ms. Elliott. We'd like to take a group photo afterward. I would like for the board to also consider for the position of principalship at Lee Street Elementary School, Mr. Wendell Spann.
I'd like to make a motion for the principal of Lee Street Elementary, Mr. Wendell Spann. Can I get a second? It's been moved and properly second. Can I get a vote? Motion passed. Unanimous.
Congratulations, Mr. Spann. Mr. Spann, please stand and be recognized. Also, in your board packets, you've been informed that Mr. Samuel Garcia will start tomorrow as the acting assistant principal at Unidos Elementary School.
Fantastic.
Mr. Garcia.
Can I get all the individuals that just got promoted and appointed to come up to the stage for a quick photo?
Is Mr. Garcia present? Please come down as well.
Miss Elliott, is that the 137 back there? All right. From the OG 137 to you. Congratulations.
Thank you for that. All right, we're up to announcements.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Madam Vice Chair,
District
board
Administration
members,
of
Superintendent
Clayton
Smith,
County.
District
My name is Gary
Administration,
Renzo,
and
and I am
citizens
an
of
8th
Clayton
grade
County.
scholar at
My name is Gary Renzo, and I am
My
an
name
8th
is
grade
Aiden
scholar at
Gonzalez.
Adamson
I'm
Middle
also an
School.
8th grade scholar at
My
Adamson
name
Middle
is
School.
Aiden Gonzalez.
It is
I'm
our
also an
pleasure
8th
to
grade scholar
present
at
the
Adamson
board
Middle School.
announcement for the
It
month
is
of
our
June.
pleasure to
The
present
month
the
of
board
summer
announcement
solstice
for
is
the
home to
month of
Flag
June.
Day, Global
The
Day for
month of summer
Parents,
solstice
World
is home to
Environment Day,
Flag Day,
National
Global Day for
Children's Day, and
Parents,
National
World
Handshake Day.
Environment Day, National Children's Day, and
The
National Handshake
district
Day.
kicks off new student registrations
The
beginning Monday,
district
June
kicks
9th
off new
and
student
ending on
registrations
Friday,
beginning
July
Monday,
25th
June
in
9th, and
preparations for the
ending on Friday,
2025 through
July 25th
2026
in
school year for
preparations
all
for the
grade levels.
2025 through
Parents, guardians,
2026
and
school year for
caregivers
all grade
needing
levels.
support
Parents,
with
guardians, and
application
caregivers
process may
needing
visit
support
any of the
with
following satellite
application process
locations for
may visit
in-person
any of the
support. These
following satellite
locations are
locations
Forest Park
for
High School,
in-person support.
Northcutt
These
Elementary
locations are
School,
Forest Park High
MD
School,
Roberts Middle School,
Northcutt
Sequoia
Elementary
Middle
School,
School, Central
MD
Office
Roberts
South,
Middle
and
School,
the
Sequoia Middle School,
Administration
Central
Complex in
Office South,
Jonesboro.
and the Administration
All satellite
Complex in
locations will
Jonesboro.
be open between the hour of
All
8:30
satellite
a.m.
locations will
through
be
4
open
p.m.
between
Monday
the
through
hour of
Friday and
8:30
will
a.m.
provide
through
assistance
4 p.m.
to
Monday through
include
Friday and
application
will provide
completion,
assistance
document
to
uploading,
include
and address
application
changes.
completion,
All
document
registration needs
uploading,
can
and
be
address
addressed
changes.
to support
All
new and
registration
current
needs
students
can be
for a
addressed to
successful
support
start
new
to the
and current
2025
students
through
for a
2026 school year.
successful start to the
The school district
2025
will
through
hold its annual
2026 school
summer
year.
leadership retreat
The school
Tuesday through
district will
Thursday,
hold its
June
annual
10th
summer
through
leadership
12th,
retreat Tuesday
2025.
through Thursday,
The district's
June 10th
leadership will meet
through
at
12th,
Jonesboro High School
2025.
June 10th
The
and
district's
11th,
leadership will meet
and
at
will meet at
Jonesboro
their
High
school and
School June
department
10th
sites on June
and
12th.
11th, and will
This
meet
year's
at their
theme
school
is
and
Leading
department
Beyond
sites on June
Tomorrow,
12th.
Embracing a
This
Culture
year's
of
theme
Change.
is Leading Beyond
Beginning
Tomorrow,
today, Monday,
Embracing a
June
Culture of
2nd, the
Change.
Clayton County Public
Beginning
Schools
today, Monday,
Nutrition
June
Service
2nd, the
Department
Clayton County
will
Public
launch
Schools
its summer meal
Nutrition
service
Service
program
Department
at
will
multiple
launch its
schools
summer
and
meal
community
service
locations
program
throughout
at
Clayton County.
multiple schools
Most
and community
programs will run
locations
from
throughout
Monday,
Clayton
June
County.
2nd
Most summer
through
programs will
Wednesday,
run from
June
Monday,
25th.
June 2nd
Kendrick Middle School
through
will run
Wednesday,
from
June
Monday,
25th.
June 2nd through
Kendrick Middle
Friday,
School will run
July
from
25th.
Monday, June 2nd
The
through
Summer Meal
Friday,
Service
July
Program
25th.
aims to provide
The
nutritious
Summer
breakfast
Meal
and
Service
lunch meals to
Program aims
children
to provide
18 and
nutritious
under,
breakfast
or
and lunch meals
individuals
to
over
children
18 with
18
a
and under,
state-recognized
or
mental or
individuals
physical
over 18
disability.
with a
For more
state-recognized
details and
mental
to
or
view a list
physical
of
disability.
location and
For
time,
more
please
details
visit
and
the
to view a
district
list of
website.
location
The
and time,
district's Division
please
of
visit
Human
the district
Resources will
website.
host a summer
The
hiring
district's Division
on
of Human
Saturday,
Resources
June
will host
7th,
a summer
beginning at
hiring event
11
on
a.m.
Saturday,
The event will
June
be held
7th,
at the Morrow
beginning
Center,
at 11 a.m.
1180 South
The
Lake
event will
Circle
be
in
held
Morrow.
at the Morrow
For
Center,
information,
1180 South
email the
Lake
Human
Circle in Morrow.
Resources Recruitment
For
Unit.
information,
The
email the
district
Human
will be
Resources
closed in
Recruitment Unit.
observation of Juneteenth.
The district will
Thursday,
be
June
closed in
19th, all
observation of Juneteenth.
and
Thursday,
offices
June
will
19th,
return to their
all
existing
schools and offices will
operation
return to
on
their
Friday,
existing
20th.
schedules of
The
operation
June
on
board work
Friday
session
20th.
and regular meeting is scheduled
The
for Monday,
June board
June
work session
23rd
and
at
regular
5
meeting
p.m.
is scheduled for
During that
Monday,
meeting, which will
June
be held at the
23rd at
Performing
5
Arts
p.m.
Center in
During
Jonesboro,
that meeting, which will
all
be held
items
at the
will be
Performing
presented
Arts Center in
and voted
Jonesboro.
on.
All
Please note
items
that a
will be
regular board
presented
meeting will
and
only
voted
be
on.
scheduled
Please
in
note that
July
a
if
regular board
necessary.
meeting will
The
only be
district will be
scheduled
closed
in
in
July if
observance of
necessary.
summer
The
break
district will be
Friday,
closed in
June 30th
observance
through
of summer break
Friday,
Friday, June
July
30th
4th.
through
All
all the
schools and
way to
offices will
Friday,
return to their
July
existing
4th. All
schedules
schools
of
and offices
operation on
will
Monday,
return to
7th.
their existing
First day
schedules
of the
of
2025
operation on
2026
Monday
school
7th.
year, teachers
First
and
day of
other
2025
190-day employees
employees is Monday, July 28th. Other 190-day employees
The
is
July
Monday,
board
July
work
28th.
session is scheduled for Monday, July 28th at 5 p.m. This meeting will be held at the Performing Arts Centers in Jonesboro.
And finally, the first day for students of the 2025-2026 school year is Monday, August 4th.
Mr. Chairman, that concludes tonight's announcement. Mr. Chairman, that concludes.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to take a moment. I'm going to give you a little history lesson. Today, in the year of 1924, Native Americans received citizenship in this country. Take a look at that, 1924. We need to be teaching our students our history, our whole history. So I just want to take a moment to say that, and I hope it just sits in your brain for just a moment. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, I have the approval of the minutes. I got the minutes from board work session, April 28th, 2025. Are there any changes? Nope. I have the minutes from board meeting, May 5th, 2025. Are there any changes? Lastly, I have the called board meeting for May 20th, 2025. Are there any changes in the minutes? Nope. All right, we move to the consent agenda now for action. On the consent agenda, we'll be covering financial reports, the SPLOS revenue report, purchasing report, budget amendments, high-risk designation corrective action plan, the SPLOS construction report, capital purchasing report, Fountain Elementary School demolition bid, and lastly, the personnel changes report. Can I get a motion for the consent agenda? Mary, second. Joy,
Second.
can I get a vote? Unanimous? We now move down to the business agenda. We have the vote for the policy series I. Can I get a motion for policy series I? Mary, it's first. Can I get a second? Mr. Christmas, the motion has been passed the motion has been made and seconded. Can I get a vote for policy series I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. Okay, 8 and okay. Victoria, you want to vote for the policy series? You're abstaining, okay. So we have, Victoria, did you vote for policy series I? Yes. All right, 2 abstentions. 7, okay, perfect. Yep, 7 yeses, 2 abstentions. Ms. Baker.
Sorry. At this time, I would like to accept the superintendent's recommendation for the Tapestry Public Charter School.
Who's first? Okay. All right, can we get a vote? Tap and see. 7. And abstain? Abstain? No, okay. 1 no, 1 abstention, right? 2 no's, okay. 2 no's, 7-4. The motion passes.
May I have a point of privilege at this time?
Absolutely.
I just want to note, after carefully reviewing the consideration of the petition for Tapestry Charter School, I am voting no based on the several concerns that I have. First, the information provided regarding student enrollment through a lottery system lacks sufficient clarity and assurance that it will be equitable and serve all families within our district. I am particularly concerned that many of our families, especially those who need access to special services the most, may not have a fair opportunity for enrollment through this process. Additionally, while the school proposes to serve students with high-functioning autism, ADHD, and other forms of neurodivergence, but neurodivergence isn't a diagnosis. Therefore, it is important to note that such categorized does not fully reflect the diversity and often more complex needs of our students with severe disabilities. The selective focus potentially leaves our families whose children require more intensive support unavailable for these services. And I also want to note that the practice of referring students with more challenging behavior or academic needs back to the district feeder school. This, in effect, allows the charter to maintain a higher success rate by serving a narrow segment of the student population that needs it the most. In conclusion, I believe our district already offers the same curriculum in addition to more comprehensive services and support for all students, including those with special needs. So for that reason, I have a no vote.
Thank you for that. Next item on the list is the approval of the fiscal year 2026 budget. Ms. Bivens, are you here? Ms. Corey, you go ahead.
I have something to say. I know is she on her way?
Yeah, go ahead. You can speak while she's on her way.
Since normally too, when we have a vote, you don't explain no's, you explain abstentions. But since the last thing that we talked about, and we were talking about budget and questioning about the budget, since we're now on the budget, two statements. Number one, last week when we had a vote, one of the first things that we did was talk about ethics. And when you are making a vote on something, we clearly state if there is an issue that you should not vote. When we took the first vote, several people abstained from the vote, and it was understandably so. But what was presented to us was questions about the budget. And then we took another vote, but then people that abstained then suddenly voted. This is a problem I have. If we are worrying about money, we should be worried about our own designation. And secondly, as a board, some of the members on the board don't do very well budgeting their own money. We have had some instances this year where members have overspent, and we have had to borrow money from others. So ethically, that should have been taken into consideration when a vote was made. Now, as far as the budget is concerned, since I'm not on the vote, I'm going to speak on how I feel about the budget. We just heard from several people that came up here explaining things that we need to do. This year, we've had so many options for this budget, and as one of them mentioned, and all of a sudden we received 3. Yesterday, I was in a restaurant. A whole lot of women came up to me. Several of them are former employees of Clayton County Public Schools. They said to me, did the board think about offering special ed teachers extra money? And one of our board members has expressed why they didn't vote for something with a school that addresses special needs students, something that we really need, because right now that's our largest area of vacancy, special ed. But no, we didn't look at anything individually. We didn't look at how someone's pension is going to look when they retire. And I think that we never had a discussion as a board, and I think that there are some things that we need to do. We need to sit down and look at our school district and look at individual needs. We cannot have a one-size-fits-all mentality. That's what we've had. So now I'm going to let anyone else Ms. Bivens can give her presentation, but I'm very displeased with what has happened this year.
Ms. Bivens, just so I could get it all out before you go, because once you present, I'm then going to propose the options. We're then going to vote, and then we're going to adjourn the meeting. So is there anybody else that has a comment? Ms. Bowles, go ahead.
I was going to save a good portion of this for when I think we can do something about it. But it's comments like the one that precedes mine that makes me feel the need to say anything, which is it's difficult to have feedback just on the content of this budget without addressing the process. It's in June, and we are passing the budget at the last possible minute. And there are folks who want to imply that one person on the board cares more or less about children or adults than another. And it's simply not true. And what we do know is not only are budgets moral documents, but they're where your values live. And not only do your values and your morals live in your budget, but how you budget says a lot about what you care about. And this board as a whole has a lot of room for improvement with the entire budgeting process. I'm still unclear what kind of governing body, including this one, does anything without robust committee structures. If we want to opine about how the budget is too little, too late, or too anything, this conversation should have started a good 6 to 9 to 12 months ago, which is what happens with living committees, something that my colleagues have resisted since my 7 years on this board. And so I find it rich to illustrate that one person cares more or less when everybody around this table cares. But what we have is not only a broken budget, but we have a broken budget process. And you cannot fix one without the other. That is my only comment. Just last week, I said I was very displeased about a lot of things within our district, although I'm proud of our babies who just walked across the stage, but this budget is one of the things. And not a single person has done what needs to be done to improve this process the way it should be improved. That's why we're here.
Okay, great. Is there anybody else? Ms. Cooper? Nothing. Ms. Hill? Dr. Haney? Ms. Baker?
I will just say that this is not an easy thing because we will never have enough money to pay everybody what they're worth. And yet we have to sit there and look at the financials for the district so we can move forward. So it's not an easy balance. This is the worst part of this job. I love the kids, I love everything we do, but when I have to tell people I don't have enough for you, or you don't think I gave you enough versus them, it's always hard. But I have to look at the long run, and I have to look at a fund balance to make sure that we can keep paying you. For those of you who don't know, a couple of us have been on the board long enough that we had to do RIFs. And if I never have to do that again, I'd walk on glass before I have to do that again. So please keep that in mind, whatever the decision is made.
Someone?
Yes, I just want to humbly apologize to our public, to our teachers, and to our staff on behalf of the lack of transparency during this process. I hear them, I understand them, and I empathize with them. Effective communication is always the key in order for us to make informed decisions. So I sincerely want to apologize on behalf of myself and our board for the lack of effective communication and the budget process.
Ms. Williams? Mr. Christmas? Nothing? All right. Ms. Bivens, the platform is yours and we will vote thereafter.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, Mr. Chair, Madam Vice Chair, members of the board, Superintendent Dr. Smith, colleagues, and community. I'm not going to go over the whole PowerPoint presentation because everything in there you've already seen. What we did, though, Dr. Smith has a recommendation, and it is of the three options that we've been speaking of the last few weeks, it's option 3. And if we can go to slide number 9, whoever's controlling the slides, please. Keep going. Keep going. Right there. Thank you. So these are some of the things that's included in the budget that you've already seen. The only changes are the 3rd and 4th bullet. The $1,500 cost of living adjustment for all employees, that was included as part of the tentatively approved budget. That was the original recommendation. However, since then, Dr. Smith has also wanted to add the $1,000 one-time retention incentive for all returning full-time employees, as well as $500 for all returning part-time employees. So those are the two changes for this budget. And if you can go to slide number 12, so I can show the revenues and expenditures for all funds. So with the general fund, back one more, please. No, yeah, right there. Thank you. So on this slide, this shows the proposed budget for all funds with the general fund, with the beginning fund balance, estimated beginning fund balance of $160 million, projected revenues of $728,777,017, projected expenditures of $749,185,814, with revenues under expenditures of $20,408,797, which would leave us with a projected ending fund balance next fiscal year on June 30th of $139,591,203, and that should say projected ending fund balance of 6/30/26, not 6/30/25. For the special revenue funds, the projected revenues are $32,335,211. Projected expenditures of the same. For the capital project funds, we have $647,351,176 with the same in expenditures for a balance, fully balanced budget. Debt service fund, $35,947,000 of revenues with expenditures the same. And for the enterprise fund, which includes our school nutrition, campus kids, performing arts center, and the print services department, they have a projected beginning fund balance of $2,026,490. Estimated revenues of $47,259,172. Projected expenditures of $49,277,996. Utilizing $2,018,824 of fund balance, leaving a projected ending fund balance at 6/30/26 of $7,666. Again, that's for each individual fund. The board has to approve all funds, so total all funds, projected beginning fund balance, $162,026,490. Projected revenues, $1,491,669,576. Projected expenditures, $1,514,097,197. Utilizing $22,427,621 of fund balance for a projected ending fund balance for all funds of $139,598,869. If you can go to the next slide, please. This shows the multi-year budget projection with the recommendation of $1,500 increase and $1,000 incentive for the general fund. If you see at the end of fiscal year 26, we anticipate having utilizing $20,408,797. That will leave us with the ending fund balance at June 30th, 2026 of $139,591,203. Just keep in mind that our average monthly operating cost with this budget is $60.5 million or $60.6 million. So we would have a little over 2 months of operating expenses in our reserves. The impact on future years of 2027, we would have to utilize $7.8 million of our fund balance. And again, this projection, as we stated before, did have some assumptions in there. And again, this is just a projection and an estimate. We increased revenues about 7% for local property taxes, and that is based on historical data. And then on the salaries, benefits, and operations, we did use a 3% increase each year. So you can see again in 27, we would utilize $7.8 million of our fund balance. In 2028, $878,000. And then in 2029 and 2030, we would start seeing an increase in our fund balance.
Good deal.
So the recommendation this evening, the superintendent's recommendation is to approve the budget as presented with the $1,500 increase and $1,000 one-time payment as a loyalty incentive for those returning in the fall of next school year. The total for the general operating fund, again, is $749,185,814. Total all funds will be $1,514.1 million. And also with the recommendation, we are recommending adopting a tentative millage rate of 19.6 mils to support this budget. I'll be happy to entertain any questions.
Fantastic. Go ahead, Ms. Corey.
Okay, not necessarily a question, well, just for clarity. So the recommendation is for option 3, that's what you're saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, last week we had a recommendation. I don't think anyone paid it any attention. I do want to address 2 things about transparency. I think transparency and committees are words that might be, I don't know if they're synonymous or not, or opposites. There was a mention that we had not done this very well because we don't have a committee. But as I recall, I believe that I appointed Ms. Bowles as the chair of the budget committee. So if we haven't had any meetings, then the chair has not had any meetings. Now, no, that is true,
Okay, we got to move on to the vote. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with the
Excuse me. I'm
superintendent's
not finished,
recommendation.
sir.
The recommendation from the superintendent was option 3. Do I have a motion for option 3?
Mr. Straker.
Miss Hill?
Yes,
No, I'm gonna.
Mr. Straker, I make a motion that we accept the recommendation of the superintendent for option 3 for the budget.
Okay, do I have a second? Ms. Cooper?
Excuse me, Mr. Straker.
I'll be right with you, Ms. Correa. I want to get past this vote.
Okay, no, excuse me.
Please,
No.
I need order on the dais, please. We're entertaining a vote right now. Let's get through that to see if we could get out of here this evening. We have a motion that was made. We have a second. Can I get a vote, please?
No, first you have discussion. And I'm gonna pose the question here. Mr. Doyle, maybe we need to pull out Robert's rules. Because first of all, you are out of order.
You had an opportunity to speak, Ms. Correa. I've given every single person on this panel an opportunity to speak, and everyone spoke. So now we must move on towards our business. Clement, am I in my right to do that?
No.
That's my question.
No, sir. Mr. Doyle, you really need to read Robert's rules because first of all, I was talking, and if you are the chair, and if you cannot conduct yourself as the chair, then there is something in Robert's rule that says maybe you need to come out of the chair. Because when someone is speaking, you don't interrupt them for whatever you want to do because it doesn't sound like you want to hear it. So as I was saying, if we needed committees, and then that is also one of the problems because we don't have transparency, because we had so many options, because as a group, we never got together to even if we had a committee meeting, the committee never was able to talk to the whole body. And that is something that needs to happen. When I go back, I'm going to send you some rules on conducting a meeting.
Can I get a
Now,
point
if
of
you
word
want to get a vote, I'm going to call for the question for the people that don't understand, that don't know how to make motions around this table.
Can I ask for a point of word?
Calling for the question. That means you can call for your vote now, sir.
Go ahead, Attorney Doyle. I can't hear you.
All right, can you hear me, Mr. Chairman? Now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Under Robert's rules, the chair is presiding at the meeting, and the chair chose to, my understanding, recognize for discussion the board members and went down the row. So, and I think you announced before that you were going to do a vote immediately after the presentation, since board members had been recognized. So I don't think we're out of order on that. There may be disagreements about direction and where we're going, but all board members have been recognized for discussion, I believe. And, the board has elected the chair for the term that has been elected.
Motion to accept the superintendent's budget.
I didn't hear you.
Motion.
All right, we've already called the question. It's been seconded. Let's get a vote for option 3. Option 3. I'm sorry. Yeah, option 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The motion passes. Okay. What are you? Abstain? What are you? Oppose? What are you? You voted? Abstain. You got that count? 5, 2, and 2. Motion passes, right?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I didn't hear the motion. Did the motion include adopting the tentative millage rate of 19.6 mils, or are you going to do that separate?
Separate.
That's a good question that Ms. Bivens noted, but she said in the presentation that this vote includes within it the 19.6 millage, and so that would be included in the motion. Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes.
Thank you. All right, thank you.
All right, so I think that's it. We've gotten option 3. The meeting is adjourned. Everyone have a good night.